Hey, welcome to the Shift. I wanted to take a step back today and just give you my backstory, where I'm coming from, what I've been through, and why this community really exists. This isn't going to be a polished story. It's not a highlight reel. My story's pretty raw. It's messy. It's filled with combat zones, broken relationships, and mistakes that cost me more than I can ever imagine. But it's also a story about transformation. I believe no matter how far off track you've gone, you can get back, and you can get back on track and become stronger than you were before. Um, so I just want you to know that no matter how much life kicks you down, you can get back up, and even if it's self-inflicted. So I do come from uh, a new background of faith. I re-engaged my faith. We're probably talking pushing 4 years ago. Baptized in February 2nd of 2023. I professed my love for God and gave myself made that choice, take that road and journey. But I don't want you to think I'm perfect. And I think there's a big stereotype behind the Christian community that we all think that we're perfect and that we judge others. And yeah, it's not the case. The basis behind Christianity is love, love for another, and to help one another. And if you notice, I said love. There's nothing that's said in the Bible more than the word love. So, in fact, I believe it's said 365 times. So, I just don't want you to think I'm coming at you from a standpoint where, yes, I'm a believer. Yes, I sin just as bad as everybody else does. And it's not for me to judge anybody else's sin. That's not up to me. But I just want you to know where I'm coming from when I talk about my faith base. Um, and yeah, yeah, so we can move past that. So I didn't grow up in a stable home. And that's no excuse for anything, but I do feel as though everybody should know that. Very physically abusive father. And my mom's a trooper, man. She did like the best she could. She battled through being a single parent, working, trying to provide. And while I had a father that owned his own business and could have very well made sure that his family was taken care of, he chose the opposite route and decided that his business was more important and kicking the crap out of us when he got home. So there wasn't any structure. There's no guidance most of the time. I raised myself. I wasn't completely alone the entire time. I did my grandfather, very influential in my life. I look back now and think, man, I really wish he would have been around a lot longer. Um, I could have stood to get some good lectures from him and learn some more. But luckily, I have my uncle. My uncle's then there, and he always gives practical advice, and he's definitely somebody that's been through the ringers of life as well. They didn't really insert themselves into my life. They left the door open for me to go and ask. And that's the thing. When you want help or you need guidance, you have to be willing to go and ask. You have to be willing to, um, realize that you're in the wrong way and make that decision. Um, but they gave me some wisdom in their own kind of rough way. They taught me grit, showed me that even when life kicks you down, you don't quit. And it became my foundation. And it's not because it was perfect. It's because I learned how to survive very early on. I had to. I didn't really have a choice. And those of you that are listening and were friends from way back then, you'll definitely understand. Um, so then we kind of fast forward and uh, it's not something I'm very proud of, but I dropped out of high school when uh, I was too far behind. I don't think I would have ever caught up. I just allowed my life to consume me, and I just stopped caring about school. Um, Not to mention, I think I probably had some ADD or something. But uh, Yeah, so I dropped out and I moved to the state of Minnesota, and I lived there for about 4 years with my now ex-wife. But I made a decision to get up and leave that situation and just go for it and see what came out of it. And I spent about 4 years there, and then I joined the United States Army in 2006, June 6th, 2006. Um, and everything changed from that point forward. I think I had finally found what I was looking for in life, and that was a team, and that was some people that really had my back. And I made the Army my family. I made the Army my family over my family. However, I do have some very, very close friends that are veterans that have been there the entire time, and my kids know who they are, and they're all uncles to them now. Um, but in the Army's where I really grew up. I joined late. I was 21. We were surging Iraq, so it was pretty easy to join back then. You pretty much just had to have a heartbeat. So joined the infantry. I did it because I was like, man, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go all in. And I personally didn't think I was good enough for special forces, so I was like, I'm not going to do that. A little bit older, smoke pack cigarettes a day. I don't do that anymore. Um, and it, but once I got there, it wasn't about grades or jobs or not even about it. It was more about life and death. Making sure that I had the guy to my left and right, making sure that I had their back, always watching out for one another, whether it was in combat or in garrison, going out, making sure that we're in groups, trying to make sure that nobody got left behind. But you take a look at all the um, life or death scenarios that any of us have been through in combat. And I don't, I'm not going to, I don't know what everybody's combat experiences are. I've heard so many different kinds, and sometimes I look at mine and I'm like, it's not that bad. I could have had it a lot worse. But and I've talked to a lot of brothers that have definitely had it worse. Some of those that have fought down in Kandahar. I got Dan Sanders. He did double deployments. He did Marga the first time, and then was with me and my squad as an alpha team leader. And I know he's been through some stuff. So, but IEDs, I did get struck by an IED when I was in Afghanistan. Hit my truck. It's caused a lot of trust issues with myself. Sometimes I'll second guess a lot of things because I second guessed whether or not to move my truck forward. So I hold on to that a lot. Um, the the death and destruction and stuff, yeah, of course, that's going to bother anybody that's exposed to it. Um, but all those experiences, they burn something into me. And the truth is, it changes you in ways you don't even you don't even realize until years later. Um, I I just powered through and I did my deployments. I went to Iraq the first time in 2008 for 15 months through to 2009. Went down there with 1st Armored Division out of Baumholder, Germany. Great team. We got a lot done. We got a lot done. Shout out to Rob Scab, Loney, if you're listening. Um, but and then right after that, I did the Afghanistan deployment with Dan Sanders. If you see him on here, you'll probably hear from him later on. And then I became a recruiter. Um, and I just wanted to get off the line. I was like, no, it's time. I got to get off the line. And I didn't want to be in the garrison environment. I was actually outrunning a command sergeant major because I had him when I was in Germany, and he's just a pain. He's just, God, man, he's just a pain. Like he always just too many rules, so many rules. And not saying he wasn't a great command sergeant major. I mean, he's now the command sergeant major of the Army, I believe, still. And if that is the case, then it's Command Sergeant Major Grinston. Uh, just to, yeah, man, he was tough and, but disciplined. Um, but I later became a recruiter, went into the recruiting force, entirely different. You're dealing with people that, some of them never seen a combat zone. They will literally treat you like crap, no matter how good you do. There is a hero to zero factor. Ryan, Dan, John, any of you that are listening, you can attest to this. Uh, it's a very brutal environment and it's very intense and fast paced. Sales. The entire thing is sales. It's based off Ford Motor Company sales model as well too. So there, now you know. Um, but instead of combat, I'm trying to recruit people to step into uniform. At first I hated it. And then I had a leader tell me like, hey man, why don't you just tell them your story? And you'll probably do a lot better in recruiting. And that's what I end up doing. Just tell people the truth. And this is what the military can do for you. This is what it's done for me. This is where I've came from. Uh, Either you want to do it or you don't. And I had a lot of success. I was able to run 3 recruiting stations for the United States Army before I ultimately needed to. I was uh, taken out of that fight. I had a lot of stuff going on, and I ultimately decided that it would be better off for me to medically retire from the United States Army, which was a blessing. I got to get back some years with my kids, and luckily I'm able to sit here and make these great videos. Um, so um, I loved it, but at the same time, the military was conditioning me in ways that I didn't really fully understand at that time. Uh, Discipline, yeah, but suppression. Don't feel, don't break, just keep moving. Always continue the mission. And you just continue to keep doing that. And what ended up happening is because I kept suppressing all that down, it ended up starting to make a lot of cracks in my character. I had a little bit of a problem with alcohol for a bit, and I'm definitely not afraid to admit that. There's there's a lot of I think most of us that have been down that road, we understand that the reason why we went that way is one, yeah, 100% it works. Two, uh, I just didn't have a good respect for alcohol. Um, I equate it to a good respect for firearms, they can be deadly in the wrong hands, just like alcohol can be deadly in the wrong hands. So, and it nearly killed me. I'm lucky to still be here. And yeah, I couldn't be more thankful. And that's definitely God not allowing me to quit, even when I turned my back on him. Um, but anyway, the cracks were there. So when I left the military, I started seeing them, but I ignored them. And I was like, nah, 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 I'll be fine. You just gotta just keep pushing through. And but what I found was because of those cracks, I started doing a bunch of dumb stuff. I made a lot of mistakes. I let anger run my life. Uh, I lied a lot to keep myself going. I sought comfort over growth. Growth is really what I did. And because comfort was easy, when relationships got hard, instead of fighting for them, I just looked for an escape, which I think a lot of people try to do. They try to find an escape. In this day and age, with all the technology, you are definitely able to find an escape very quickly. Um, so I encourage you, do not run down that road. Do not run down that road. Work it out with your partner or call it quits. Walk away. It's much easier. But every time I compromised my integrity, I thought I could get it back. Smooth talking, I got the recruiter charm. I can um, sell my way through things, and sales will teach you a lot. I mean, we've been selling since the day we were born, from that first cry out, being like we're hungry. If you think that sales capability went away from you to now, you're wrong. Um, but I would tried to smooth it out, promise it wouldn't happen again. But the truth is, I was definitely on like this very, very large path of destruction. I didn't see it till I'd already sacrificed my peace, my family, my sense of self for things that that never really cared. I just, you know, and some of this stuff I can look back and I can see. I was actually on the phone with my ex-wife the other night, and she made the comment that um, she should have left me when I got back from Afghanistan, and because I was so checked out and stuff. So I can look back and I can see where I should have had my eyes wide open, but man, it was so hard. And if any of you have gone through that, any combat veterans that are listening to this, and you did get stepped out on, or your family, your spouse or significant other checked out on you when you got back because you couldn't explain what happened to you. I am so sorry you had to go through that. And yeah, I'm glad you're still here, and you're still fighting the good fight. I found out that the person that I thought would have my back the most had already checked out, and it was pretty demoralizing to think that, man, like I got back from doing this, what I thought I was doing for my family, and uh, it was a pretty solid sting. I mean, it's like, so again, for anybody that's gone through that, whether it was, and even if this is in your personal life, if you've the person you're with and you're like, man, I wish I would have just left you, way back then when things got tough. Wow. It's a pretty powerful thing to say that can tear somebody down. But my rock bottom though, I mean, I think I've pretty much have kept myself at rock bottom. I haven't allowed myself to grow. Um, but this is kind of where God has stepped in, and I believe that if we don't get out of our own way, sometimes he will intercede on our behalf to make sure that we do, especially when we say we love him and we want to do right by him. Um, the and I apologize, I keep looking away. Some of this stuff does make me a little bit emotional when I think about it. Um, so, but when I had nothing left but ashes, um, he gave me the strength to start pulling myself out of the holes that I put myself in. And there was people that were placed in my life that I am so thankful for. Um, I can't I'm not going to put their names out just because I don't have their permission to release that. So I don't want to do that. But those of you that have been a massive impact in my life, you know who you are. Um, but I started diving into this transformative thinking um, about 3 years ago, and into the idea, your mind, your choices, your perspective, it can all be rewired. We don't have to stay in the chain of an old story. And that's where Wildfire Words was born. And out of that, I created the Shift. And it's a space where, people, whether you're you're a teacher, you have a normal 9 to 5 job, it doesn't really matter, but you've been through the fire, because some people's personal lives, I mean, I know there's people out there that have just been the rock of their family, and just been there for everything, and people take from them, and they just keep giving. So veterans, firefighters, survivors, people who know what it's like to be burned out, broken, and running on fumes. It's not about pretending to have it all together. Okay, it's about breakthroughs. It's about becoming who you're meant to be, and when your past tried to tell you otherwise, because that little voice in the back of your head that keeps saying you're not good enough, I want you to remember that's not that's a devil. That's a devil whispering in your ear. That's Satan going, just give up, just quit. You don't got it in you. So you need to suppress that. You need to get rid of that and cast that out. Actually, I want to take that back. Do not suppress that. Cast that out. Get rid of it. That is not you. Don't quit. So I know that's kind of a quick version of my backstory, but at least you know where I'm coming from. I am a certified life coach for work and life. Um, I also trauma informed, and a lot of this is and I'm currently a psych major as well. So not that it makes me a psychologist, but it does make me highly qualified to be able to help you with the coaching part alone. I coach a little bit differently. Um, I am, uh, I'm there to listen and to see what you actually need help with. And, you'll be able to tell me. And, yeah. So that's my backstory, though. It's not pretty, but it's real. I shared it because I want you to know you're not alone. If you've ever thought your story disqualified you, it doesn't. If you ever thought you're too far gone, you're not. If you've been through fire, I carry the scars. I'm here to walk through all of this with you. Um, and if this is the first time you're hearing this, welcome, welcome, welcome to the Shyft. And this is just the beginning. And until I talk to you again, I want you to live on purpose, speak life, be present, and stay humble.